website right now, and there's a quote from James Redcloud. It says, "No matter what you are physically, male or female, strong or weak, sick or healthy, all those things matter less than what's inside of you. If you have the soul of a warrior, you are a warrior. What matters most is that you are filled with a deep and powerful presence of life." Hi, my name is Sean Shapiro, and this is episode 7 of TPS Traffic Jam. Today I'm joined by Andy Norrie. He's a retired inspector with the Toronto Police Service. In fact, he used to work right here at Traffic Services. He was my boss. So without further ado, good morning. Thanks for joining me on Traffic Jam. How's it going?
Good, Sean. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here and tell you what's going on with me.
Well, so you turned in the regular Shield, and you hopped on a motorcycle, and you've been having some fun. I guess that's the really short version of what's been happening the last couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. Like you, I was fortunate, and I truly believe I was blessed to have the opportunity to ride professionally with the Toronto Police Service, with the Toronto Traffic Services Motor Squad. So that was my exposure and into motorcycling. And now that I'm retired since September 2018, I've had the opportunity to take more travels and adventures around the country, around the world, and do some wonderful things. And that part of that involves motorcycling. So I'm about to embark on my next, I won't call it great, but on my next adventure.
That's awesome, and that's what we're really talking about today. Is the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge? That are you leaving tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm leaving out tomorrow, and it starts on the 26th of June from Rapid City, South Dakota. That's where I don't know the exact numbers, but it's going to be between 100 and 150 challengers are going to, which I'm one, are going to embark on this motorcycle endurance challenge.
Now, when we met up at the police, at the police memorial a little while ago, and you were telling me about all sorts of things, but we should tell, I guess, everyone watching, there's more than just a motorcycle ride. You're not just having a leisurely ride across the country. You're doing some pretty wild stuff.
Yeah. So a gentleman who's sadly since passed, Jim Redcloud, he started the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge, I want to say, in 2010. And sometimes it's easier to say what it's not, but I'll try and describe to you what it is. And I invite everyone to go to the website and have a look at it. But most importantly, what it is not is a race. So it's an endurance challenge based on a number of criteria, and you have to apply. Not everyone can enter. Anyway, you have to ride an American-made V-twin motorcycle. You have to not use any electronic navigational aids. It's all on secondary back roads, not gravel or any of that kind of stuff, but all secondary roads, not any expressways or freeways. You have to hook a transponder onto your motorcycle so they can see where you're traveling and you're sticking to the route. And then so they, without the navigational aids, they give you, there are checkpoints along the way, and at each checkpoint, they give you the route of where you're going to be traveling on the next section. So you're never really aware of the entire route. You just know where you're going. And so the route encompasses 10,000 miles or 16,000 kilometers over a period of 2 to 3 weeks. So you can't finish in less than 10 days. They're certainly safety-wise, they're encouraging you to take your breaks. And I guess the criteria I should tell you about, well, obviously, I won't say obviously, but you can't break the law. You can't, speed and do all a bunch of other illegal activity on a motorcycle. You are representing the event and yourself. And the other thing is you have to sleep outside. You have to sleep outside within 10 feet of your motorcycle. So I have a little cot tent that I've practiced with. And so it's Hoka Hey is Lakota Sioux Indian words. And it's sort of let's go. There was a chant that they used before they went into take on some challenges, so they've morphed that into the name of this challenge. And so I will take on this challenge. And another big part of the Hoka Hey is that it is a fundraiser. So the challengers are asked or almost required to fundraise in support of charities. You don't have to pick a specific charity. So in my case, because of my life journey, as it were, a big part of one being a police officer and the other one being a motorcycle officer, The Ontario Police Memorial Foundation. So that where you and I actually started this conversation is my chosen charity to raise money to recognize solemnly the sacrifice that those officers have made in the performance of their duty, the ultimate sacrifice, as you and I and many others recognize. So my fundraising efforts, so any of that fundraising effort, none of it goes to me. It all goes to the charity, to the memorial. And obviously all the police officers are important to be recognized. I do make special note of the 32 police motorcycle officers that have given their lives, and then even further down than that, 9 of the Toronto officers have made that ultimate sacrifice. So that's in my head and in my heart as I take on this endurance wayfinding challenge ride that I'm about to embark on.
It sounds amazing. I think it's a fantastic choice of charities. It's a
Thank
good
you.
cause. It's something that needs attention. It needs funding. So thank you for choosing that charity and for doing this. I wish I could come with you, but I'm not sleeping on a little tent or a little cot. You said you were practicing with it. So is it really comfy and snuggly?
Yeah. So I guess I was originally enrolled or signed up to do the 2020 Hoka Hey, I'll do a little sidebar, Sean, to give you a sense. The very first Hoka Hey went from Florida Keys, Alaska. Sorry, Florida Keys, the Keys in Florida to Homer, Alaska. That's the kind of distance. So this, to give you a sense of the 16,000 kilometers, that's like traversing Canada 3 times from coast to coast to coast, back and forth 3 times. Anyway, so when I knew that I wasn't going 2020, so it's held every 2 years. Last year in 2021, on the same dates it would be held this year, so I would have the same amount of daylight. I set out on a ride here in Ontario because of the COVID restrictions, and I tested out, I'll call it my methodology. So I not like marathon running, but I ride in 2-hour blocks. Whether I want to or need to stop for fuel or for a break or whatever, I stop every 2 hours, take a stretch, take a break, fuel up, whatever I need to do.
Create some habits.
Yeah, exactly. And not go slow to go fast, but go slow to go long, or I take my breaks so that I'm not, as you and I can appreciate, fatigue and a number of other things can be hindrance in motorcycle riding. So I want to be focused. I want to have all my wits about me when I'm out there riding. So anyway, so I did a 2-day ride last year, and I tested my riding methodology. I tested out my bike, my camping gear, all of those things. I've done a couple other sort of not encompassing all the parts of the Hoka Hey, but like the camping part. But I've ridden up to Yellowknife, and I've ridden to James Bay, and a few other adventure type of rides. So I'm got my bike kitted up, and I got myself as prepared as I can, and I'm ready to go.
I think it's amazing. I think a lot of people, well, first of all, I should say that I could never do this because my idea of roughing it is black and white TV. But I think it's amazing. I don't know how well I'd fare with it, especially after having my own recent experiences on motorcycles. The whole idea of cross country doesn't sound so appealing right now. In my heart, I want to do it, but physically, I don't think I'm ready for it. And people don't take into consideration or take for granted how intensely demanding riding a motorcycle is. You don't get to have a nap while you're riding. Some minor issues could mean major results, and not in a good way. And something as simple as maintaining hydration is something that most people driving a cage won't be able to relate to. Heat, sun, all those things really beat down on you.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a rider, we're vulnerable and exposed out there, and we want to make sure that we are giving it our full attention. Sorry about that. Give it our full attention, and so absolutely to stay hydrated. And fatigue is a type of impairment, and this type of endurance challenge embraces that fatigue. And to give you a sense, I'm not fond of, and I don't really intend to ride at night in the dark. I will ride up to dusk in the evening. If I'm going to do any, I'll say darkness riding, it will be in the morning when I'm fresh, rising at 4:30 in the morning and getting out just as dawn's coming up. Because anyway, fatigue is definitely a factor, and the distances, but absolutely you want to be alert, you want to be aware, and you want it. So it's a long haul, and it's I think it's going to be a challenge for me mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all
For
those
sure.
types of things. But ultimately, I'm alive and well and here to take on this challenge, as opposed to those that made the ultimate sacrifice and passed on and remembered in the memorial. So I'm just trying to tie those things all together for me. So I'll have some time to think. So each rider is required to have a transponder on their bike, Sean, and so that website, Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge, you can click on there. There's a map up there, and you'll see that all the riders are on that. You can follow one, or you can follow all the riders as they crisscross in this case, the United States, and we're going to be out, by the Mississippi and along the west coast a lot, I suspect. And you can follow along. My particular rider number is 1018. If anybody wants to have a look at that, and
1018.
1018, and is the one to look for me. And all the other riders are out there too. And I'll send along my my fundraiser charity support link if anybody's willing and wants to support. That would be greatly
So we're going to put that on the screen right below us, and you'll be able
to
follow that. When this is published, we'll have the link there. Anyone who wants to contribute to the great cause of the police memorial through this method, please support Andy Norrie on his adventure. And I'm looking at the Hoka Hey website right now, and there's a quote from James Redcloud. It says, "No matter what you are physically, male or female, strong or weak, sick or healthy, all those things matter less than what's inside of you. If you have the soul of a warrior, you are a warrior. What matters most is that you are filled with a deep and powerful presence of life." And again, that was James Redcloud. I love this. I've been diving into the website, and there's so much, I want to say coolness, but I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah. And I invite you and others to look at sort of the definition of warrior. It's not what you and I would, or others would think of traditionally as the definition of warrior. A warrior has many components, and part of that is being the best citizen you can be and giving back and helping others. And so it's not a race. So there's no quote unquote winner. They have 4 awards they give out for, integrity and for helping others and many other things that you demonstrate over the period of the Hoka Hey. And one of the things, the way I describe it, Sean, is not like a marathon race, but it's an individual effort in a group environment. So, it's the only person if I'm competing against, the only person that I'm testing is myself. I'm doing it along with a whole bunch of others that are doing the same. So you will see the same people, and there will be elite people that get out in front and charge ahead, and there will be people that are going for a different experience. It's more personal. It's more zen. Whatever their particular aspect is. So anyway, I'm looking forward to getting out there and all the challenges that come with it. The weather, the fatigue, and because you and I, good or bad, have had some opportunity to ride in the rain and the colder weather, and it's not all sunshine and curves, but a lot of it is, and we enjoy that part. So
there's a fine line between refreshing rain and miserable rain, but I'm sure you'll have the opportunity to experience all of it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm going to see, I think, a lot of miles of some wonderful, beautiful countryside. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's amazing. Will we be photographing and documenting, GoProing, and?
Yeah, I'm not in the video, but I'm going to make an effort to stop and take the pictures because, as I'm sure lots of people would know, it all starts to fade and melt together. So I'll be taking lots of pictures, and what I'm going to do, Sean, is I'm going to take some audio recordings.
Nice.
Recordings, journaling, basically, of the days and where I'm staying, because you have to find yourself someplace to, I'll say, bed down for the night, where you can sleep outside within 10 feet of your motorcycle. Now,
do you have any concerns? I was going to say, do you have any concerns about security, safety, things like that?
Not personally. Obviously, you have to have situational awareness and be aware of where you are and what you're doing, and some of it. And it sounds like anyway, someplace you just approach a church, and you can call their on-call number and say, "I'm just going to bed down in the back in your church in the parking lot, if that's okay." And previous riders who have participated in the Hoka Hey have talked about going to baseball diamonds where there's a dugout where you can park if you need shelter. Right? In my case, I have a tent, but if a campground sort of lines up with where I am at the end of the night, that's great. Maybe get a shower in, or maybe have to do a truck stop shower every couple of days, those types of things, right? So you got to stay fresh and alert and cleaned up, look good, feel good. So not particularly safety concerns. I mean, think my experience in life has helped me prepare for that and have that aspect of it. And really, I don't want to say my life has prepared me for this challenge, but even on the wayfinding piece, not relying on the GPS, I think our experience as police officers, always knowing which sort of, I think you and I and most police officers have an internal compass, sort of always knowing which way is north, and always being aware of our location, so street signs, all that type of stuff.
Planning ahead. We
yeah,
plan.
Absolutely, looking for that turn, looking for that next, following the route. So I've never been a big person to rely on GPS. So I'm looking forward to it. I won't lie. At my retirement age, sleeping outside is not my best, but I'm prepared for it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, when you get back, I mean, hopefully we can. Actually, let me ask you this: do you have an Instagram or somewhere you're going to be posting these photos live, or is it all after?
It's all. Well, I am a Facebook guy, so I can certainly give you that link, and I'll be, when I can, be putting up some stuff on there, and then a lot of it, I think, will be a sort of wrap up at the end, a post ride. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I want to be successful, and I want to get through, because you can't be off the route for more than 48 hours. They have I'll call a wrap-up celebration at the 14-day mark, but that doesn't mean the event's over. There's many people that finish between the 14 and 21-day mark, and then some even out beyond that. But if you have a breakdown or technical or medical issue, you can't be off the route for more than 48 hours. But
so even if it's medical, you're out of the game if it's more than 48. That's interesting.
Yeah. Because I mean, the infrastructure and the team that puts this on can only stay out there for so long.
They have lives to get back to afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. And there's checkpoints, and they have to prepare all the And I'll give you an example. The weather that's occurred in Yellowstone, I'm going to suspect has altered the route that we were probably going to take some of our rides through Yellowstone, and now that's all closed. But that's just a hypothetical on my point, but something like that. So there's constant changes to the route and the checkpoints, and there's a number of mechanical issues. It tests our own stamina, but it also tests our motorcycle's ability to last that long.
Speaking of your motorcycle, did you do anything special to prepare your bike for this trip? I mean, you already have a bike made for this kind of traveling.
Well, in my case, many of the challengers are riding what we would categorize as cruiser bikes, many Harleys and some Indian brand motorcycles. In my case, I'm riding a Harley-Davidson Pan America, the new liquid-cooled adventure bike. What I did, Sean, again, in my testing and my preparing, I outfitted my bike. So the only thing that really is outside, exposed, or whatever, is my tent is straps across where my passenger would be. Otherwise, everything's contained in my 3 pannier saddlebags, and all my kit and rain suits and warm cold weather gear and all those clothing and whatever I'm taking all fits into my saddlebag. So other than that, some additional lighting and a few other things. A little compass is up on my to your point of hydration, I have a water bottle that's connected up there on my front there. So some Cliff bars and a few other things stashed along with my tank bag, and then I'm ready to go.
Well, I wish you a safe travel. This is an experience that I look forward to hearing about on the other end. If you decide to take video or photos and you want to do some editing, I'm happy to help out when you get back. But I do appreciate you coming and telling us all about it. We're going to put the links up again to share, and it'll be in the description for the audio version of this. But check it out. I'm jealous to some degree. I'd love to go on a ride like this, but I'm going to live vicariously through your adventure.
Well, again, it took me a long time in my life to get to the point where I was ready and able to take it on. So don't say never, just say not right now. So I'm happy to have people follow along as I attempt to complete this challenge.
And hey, if you decide you want to connect, and we could have an update video. If you decide to connect, it's an option. We can do that.
Absolutely, we'll see what we can hook up.
Yeah, sounds good. Awesome. Well, listen, have a safe travels. You leave tomorrow, and I look forward to following your tracker.
All right. Thanks for your invitation to discuss it, Sean, and I look forward to talking to you after it's all over, and maybe getting a few hours extra sleep, and checking back with you to tell you how it really was.
Yeah, for sure. Again, this has been Andy Norrie, retired Inspector Toronto Police, who is taking on the challenge of the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge, traveling throughout the United States. It's an adventure that, it's just awe-inspiring. We will be doing this again soon, so check back on a regular basis for postings of the new TPS Traffic Jam podcast episodes. Have a great day.